there'll be nobody left behind to grieve, and we will all go together when we go. What a comforting fact that is to know. Universal bereavement, an inspiring achievement. Yes, we all will go together when we go.
And so he was like, I hope the Legion burn you at the stake when they conquer this place. And I was like, bitch, they've been trying that shit since day one, and I'm not the one getting burned so far.
By order of Caesar, all visitors must disarm and relinquish all banned items.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize this was a casino. Just give me a minute while I think of the best way to tell you to go fuck yourself. Seriously, you expect me to just take that shit without explanation?
Caesar strictly forbids the use of chems and alcohol. By his order, all visitors must also relinquish their arms upon entry. If you come in peace, then there is no reason to not disarm. You will not be harmed unless Caesar wills it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab a pen and label this entire conversation as bullshit! And what the hell was that about alcohol? One of my friends here will literally die of thirst if you take away her whiskey.
Alcohol and all chems, including stims and other addictive items.
Wow, you're gonna be that tight, huh? I hope your esteemed leader realizes that if he wants me to somehow work for him, then this is a terrible way of convincing me. And you don't even allow stim packs? What, are we back in the Stone Age? Well, go rub ashes in your eyes if you want, but I'm on medication, you jackass!
I know not why Caesar would wish to speak with such a physically inferior whelp. But I will allow this one exception. You may bear Caesar's mark. But do not attempt to share any of your medicine with anyone in the fort.
Oh, don't worry. If I see one of you guys dying of gangrene, I will absolutely make sure to just walk away. Believe it or not, I could do that very easily. Well, unless we're gonna start a fight right here, I guess I'm gonna have to leave my weapons. But I swear to God, if any of them goes missing, I'm just gonna take your severed head as compensation.
Your belongings will be returned to you when you leave.
Well, good. But I warn you, I have a lot of weapons. I hope you have a catalog or something, because I want it all back. You understand? And this one I used to cut up one of your centurions, and that one I took from his dead body. Yeah, you guys don't want to hear about all this. Oh, and for your sake, I hope you didn't touch my two lady friends there inappropriately when you patted them down, because if you did, well, no matter what I say here, it won't be anywhere near as terrifying as what they will actually do to you. So, Fortification Hill, the place the NCR High Command wants to occupy, but the soldiers want to avoid like the plague. Well, I can see where they might actually catch the plague from. Jesus Christ, I know this is supposed to be scary and all that, but I hope these guys realize that leaving rotting corpses like that is not exactly hygienic. Maybe they're only 2 steps away from a cholera epidemic, in which case I am out of here. Well, you're sticking out like a sore thumb.
Howdy.
What the hell are you doing here?
So you're the visitor I've heard some of the legionaries talking about. If you're in the mood to trade, just say the word.
Sure. I bet the slave will have plenty of things to trade. Let me guess, you're selling all the weapons that get confiscated from the visitors, right?
No, sir. I'm an independent trader from Arizona.
And yet you still didn't deny where you're getting your supplies from. Wait, you're independent? As in, you're not getting constantly whipped all day long by some sweaty legionary and then getting bum-fucked all night long by the same guy?
Not at all. They're my best customers. As long as you don't try to sell them chems or alcohol, they treat you fair. Hell, I don't even need to travel with guards most of the time in Legion territory. All the bandits are dead or run off.
Okay, before you say anything else, let me just point out that Stockholm Syndrome is a real thing. Please seek psychiatric help if you have been affected. So, what about the NCR? I suppose these guys will throw you down a cliff if you try dealing with their enemies.
Between having to hire protection and getting slapped with taxes, it's more profitable to stick to Arizona and New Mexico. But I do cross the river from time to time when an opportunity comes along.
Oh, I see how it is. If you want to understand a merchant, just follow the money. No offense to you, Cass, so stop cracking your knuckles. Yeah, I bet you must worship a guy like Caesar. Did you give his privates a lick or two for giving you this opportunity? You did, didn't you?
I haven't had the pleasure. I have crossed paths with Legate Lanius, his second-in-command, however. It was unpleasant.
Let me guess, he didn't appreciate the offer. Maybe it was your mustache. I can't blame him. That probably makes it real itchy. So, who the fuck is he anyway?
He's the best the Legion has to offer. Or so the legionaries say. Brute of a man. Wears a fancy metal mask in a battle. He killed one of my pack Brahmins simply because it was in his way. I knew better than to complain about it, though.
Yeah, I bet he's the sort to skip foreplay and go straight for the sphincter. Well, that was a fascinating look into the life of a Legion bitch. Please, take care of yourself. And remember, if you need psychiatric help, the followers have a clinic on the other side of the river.
Be seeing you around.
Hey, if everything goes according to plan, then you probably won't. Oh, and if you really are getting your merchandise from the guy guarding the gates, then I'll be taking your head as compensation too. Well, that was odd. Now I really want to have a word with this Caesar. What the hell kind of message is he trying to portray here anyway? Will enslave anyone apart from the traders? I can't imagine that being so appealing to everyone involved. Speaking of which, this lady looks like her spine is about to snap in half. Hey, you might want to pick up the pace. I can hear these guys smacking their lips when they're looking at you. What the fuck? Well, apparently she took my words very seriously. I didn't even see her run past me. Well, I guess fear is a hell of a motivator.
Ah, well. The mark of Caesar protects you.
Or what? You think you can take me, big boy? Man, I'll slice your dick off. So, I guess meeting a fellow merchant doing business around here isn't gonna change your opinions any, right, Cass?
Excuse me.
Okay, carry on.
I don't trade caps or supply anyone who keeps slaves and treats women like Brahmin in those camps of theirs.
Well, clearly some people are willing. Is this gonna be the part where we debate the ethics of killing them as well?
There's some caravans that deal with the Legion, yes. And as much as it pains me to say it, any caravan marked by the Legion is safe as houses. They guard their roads, their supply lines. Even fiends would hesitate before going after any trader dealing with Legion.
Oh yeah, what a huge plus. You get protection from the fiends, the same ones that got massacred by 2 people and a small robot. Please, sign me up. What a bunch of useless idiots.
True to Kaiser.
Hey, you gonna let us pass there, Mohawk man?
I'm harsh on the children, but they'll be excellent legionnaires. I'm quite proud of them.
And by harsh, I hope you mean a harsh training regimen and nothing else, you piece of shit. So what are you telling me then? People out there are gonna throw themselves at the Legion by their own free will?
If towns could get the same protection, a lot more tempting than you'd think. A bunch of people would be willing to side with the Legion to not have to worry about fiends and boomers and powder ganger attacks. It's not hard for some folks to sell freedom when the alternative is worse. Especially if being with NCR is going to get you on a Legion cross.
What an option, huh?
Some of the slaves have been spreading stories about the burned man again.
That's not one of the Legionnaires I burned on the campfire, is it? If so, they need to be more specific. So, out of those 3 groups you mentioned, I've destroyed 2. I made the 3rd one my bitch. So what's their excuse now? Why don't we ask this lady right here? Excuse me, what did these guys promise you?
If you're injured, I might have healing powder to spare.
Healing powder? Oh, I forgot. These guys are too cool for modern medicine. You have to go retro on this sort of thing, right? Man, the medical professionals where you come from must be rolling in their graves right now.
I never finished my training. The Legion saw to that when they overran my town. I do know basic first aid, but I've had to rely on tribal remedies to treat illnesses and injuries. Healing powders and all that. I'm always running low on Xanderroot. Plenty of Brock flowers, though.
Really? How did you manage that? Isn't it supposed to be a 1-to-1 ratio?
Oh, I've been using 2 roots per flower. Thanks to you, I'll be able to create twice as much healing powder per day.
Believe it or not, I was not planning on making the Legion more effective in any way, shape, or form. Let's just pretend we didn't have that conversation. So yeah, you should absolutely use 3 roots per flower. More is better, right? I'd be willing to pay for that shit if you have any for sale.
For sale? I'm a slave, not a merchant. I could give you some healing powder every day, but you'd have to be a friend of the Legion.
Hey, I'm trying to make this sound convincing, okay? No need to piss all over my parade. Where are you from, anyway?
A small town in New Mexico. The Legion burned it a few years back. That's how I ended up here.
Well, I figured that couldn't have been too long ago. You're not exhibiting Stockholm Syndrome. Not like that merchant outside, anyway. How long has it been?
3 years and counting. If I could just get across the river, I'd be free. Not that I'd try it. I've seen what happens when you get caught.
Hey, at least you're not getting crushed like a packed Brahmin like those people outside. Hell, you don't even have a collar on. You have a better chance to get out of here than any other slave I've seen so far. Come on, it's gotta be worth a try. You should know how they treat women here better than me.
We're property. If you're too young or too old, the men usually leave you alone. Usually.
Well, there you go then. What else do you need to motivate you? Besides, even if you get caught, they're not gonna kill you. You're probably the closest thing to a doctor they have here. So, what are you afraid of, the legate?
The legate is not a man to be crossed, especially if you're a woman. That's all I'll talk about it.
Ah, he went there, did he? Do I even need to ask whether he was gentle? I'm guessing not. Well, if there's any consolation, the only thing you might have to worry about is getting caught by stray bullets, which all things considered is not the worst thing that could happen to you. Just hold tight, okay?
Okay.
Man, you would think the Legion would know better than roughing up a valuable asset like her. Then again, we are talking about the same people who think sticking severed heads on poles should be the latest fashion. There's only so much you can expect out of people like that. Maybe that's why they have to kill people all the time. Those heads will start to stink after a while. I guess the fashion trend specifically requires fresh heads. And why the obsession with the single-headed Brahmin will be another riddle for the ages. So, I guess this must be Caesar's residence. He's not exactly subtle about it. Man, he must really like the right side of his face. Does he have a birthmark on the other side? I bet he does.
Some of the slaves have been spreading stories about the burned man again.
Well, why did you burn him then?
You must enter Caesar's tent alone. Anyone else must remain outside.
He's that paranoid, huh? You know none of us have weapons, right? Well, I guess that's just as well. I have a feeling these buddies of mine would just spit in his face. One of them is a dog too, so that's a lot of spitting. Yeah, just hold still. This might be quicker than you think. Wow. So, you guys are demonstrating your superiority over the other tent dwellers by having a bigger tent. What a life of luxury. I'm so jealous right now. You stay right there, bitch. Yeah, I thought the Lucky 38 was good, but it's got nothing on this, am I right? You shut your fucking mouth. So, Roman, Mafia, Roman. What the hell kind of movie are we making here, guys? I mean, I like original ideas as much as the next guy, but can I at least see the script before we start shooting?
You're the courier who caused so much trouble for my legion, and yet you dare come before me. The garrison I established at Nelson has been wiped out. Years of meticulous scheming to place a mole at Camp McCarran. Wasted. The kings of Freeside are cooperating with the NCR now, which frees up soldiers to defend the dam. So tell me this, because I really want to know. I am feared, with good reason. But you, of all people, dare to come here and stand before me, the mighty Caesar. What were you thinking?
Oh, whoa, hold on a minute there. I'm pretty sure you missed something. Oh yeah, I also killed a bunch of legionaries and then burned them on a campfire near Nipton. But I guess that's not high profile enough for you. As for your question, let me ask you something. What were you thinking when you invited me here? Did you want to see what death looked like in the flesh? Well, I hope you're satisfied because I'm not impressed by what I'm seeing right now.
Maybe I should have you struck blind so my face is the last sight you ever behold.
You can try.
Look, you do know why I wanted to meet you, right?
No.
A man nearly kills you, so you track him across the breadth of the Mojave. You arrive on the strip and waltz into the Lucky 38 like someone left you a key under the doormat. You visit the tops, and next thing you know, the head of the chairman is fleeing the strip like a whimpering little pup. When you set your mind to something, you get results. I like that. The question is, are you ready to get started?
Oh good, another fucking idiot who likes to make assumptions about me. Well, you're right about the shit I've done. I would like to have a word with whoever told you that. That guy needs to learn what invasion of privacy means, and I think the best way to get that across is by removing his tongue.
I have eyes and ears everywhere. It behooves me not to invade the West blind and deaf. It hasn't been hard to track your progress. It's not as though you've been keeping a low profile. The time is fast approaching when my legion will assault the Great Dam and invade the West. Before that happens, I want Mr. House knocked out of the game. A quick 1-2 punch, with you doing the punching.
And there you go again, making assumptions. And let me just save you some time right now. Whatever you think you know about the why is 90% bullshit. And that's me being generous, okay? Right now, the only reason I'm still talking to you is because I would like to finish up and deal with the gentleman in the corner over there.
Benny is my prisoner. You don't deal with him unless you've dealt with me. Don't worry. You'll get the platinum chip he was carrying, and then you'll use it like I tell you to.
Really? That's your opening pitch? You know, I've been warned about your charisma, but wow, you are just flat out not trying, are you? Tell you what, I'm actually curious to see just how you're going to incentivize me to do a 180. Say that I agree to work for you. What do you want exactly?
Down the hill, at the west edge of camp, is an old building. It was here when the fort was taken in 2277. Inside the building is a hatch. And inside that hatch are 2 steel doors that bear the sigil of the Lucky 38 casino. Now that same sigil is on the platinum chip Benny was carrying when we captured him. Isn't that interesting? Even more interesting, there's a slot about the same size as the chip on the console that opens the hatch. So you know what I think? I think the platinum chip opens those doors. Doors that can't be pried open, or drilled open, or blasted open. Because all that, I tried.
And now that you have the chip, you obviously decide that you're suddenly too important to do this yourself, or even to get one of your legionaries to do it for you. Huh. This is supposed to be an initiation test for me, isn't it? Ha! As if I haven't proven myself enough already. And once I'm inside, then what?
I want you to destroy whatever you find in there. And then I want you to come back here and tell me about it. So go to the building and take this fucking platinum chip with you. My legionaries will meet you there, with your weapons and equipment. Talk to Benny on your way out. He knows I'm going to let you decide how he dies. Maybe you want to remind him.
Well, you certainly know that much about me.
Always. True to Kaiser.
Well, I hope you gentlemen don't mind me having the honor of doing all this. And as for you...
Go ahead and laugh, baby. I ain't blind to the humor in this situation.
Oh, really? In that case, I'll laugh a bit more.
Yeah, well, laugh it up on your own time. Down to brass tacks. How'd your meet and greet with Baldy go?
What, you couldn't hear us? Did they slap you with their dicks that hard? Well, damn, now I know what that slave was talking about. But the long version is, I get to choose how you die. The short version is, you're fucked.
Try not to smile so wide, baby. You might break your mouth. Yeah, Baldy said you'd get to decide. So which way you leaning?
Oh, well, that's a good question. I'm gonna have to think about it. But, you know, with all those wooden crosses dotted around this place, I think I know which choice they would like me to go for.
Yeah, real popular around here. It's a crowd pleaser.
And when it comes to show business, I'm all about democracy. So, after all this time, this little piece of crap is back where it belongs. Do you know what happens next?
Sure. Baldy wants you to go down there in the bunker and destroy whatever Mr. House stashed there. Oh, you don't want to do that, baby. Whatever's down in that bunker is the key to the city called Vegas. So here's what you do. You go down there and you use the chip to do whatever Mr. House would have wanted you to do. And when you get back to the strip, you find Yes Man. I made it so that cat can't help but be helpful. Dig?
Oh, I know. That guy has some serious issues. And as for what I'm gonna do, well, that's no longer your concern, is it? Because one way or another, you're not gonna be the center of my life for much longer.
Ta-ta.
Yeah, that's right. This is my time now. As long as I have this chip, its power is mine. And I know you can hear me, mighty Kaiser, but what you need to understand is that when you're dealing with me, you're essentially playing with fire. One wrong move, and I'll burn this entire place to the ground. And if you really piss me off, I'll make sure...
Flames aren't much of a challenge in the arena.
Well, as I was about to say, I'll make sure the fire spreads to the rest of your precious empire. Because at the end of the day, your biggest enemy isn't the NCR. It is someone like me, a murder machine who's easily bored. Holy Christ. All that killing, all that backstabbing, just for this tiny thing. And in the end, are you even worth it? I mean, are you even really made out of platinum?